Welcome to another Bible Time. This is the Tuesday edition. We're going through the Believers Fellowship Daily Bible Reading and providing just some thoughts to go along with it to encourage you, to stimulate your thinking about the Scripture. And before we get to today's text, I just want to say some things about the fellowship groups that will be meeting this week. I trust that you heard the sermon on Sunday. I trust that you took notes. That you're answering the application questions on the back of the worksheet that's provided for you. If you didn't already get it, you can find it on our website as one of the downloads from this sermon on Sunday. And I would really encourage you to be involved in one of the fellowship groups this week and go to it ready to stimulate one another to love and good deeds, to really put into application, to encourage love for God and obedience to Him. And I trust that you'll have encouraging times of fellowship this week in doing that. And today, as we continue in the daily Bible reading, we're coming to 2 Kings chapter 18. And here we're introduced to one of the great kings of all of Israel, the king of Judah, Hezekiah. In fact, if you go to Israel today, you go particularly to Jerusalem, you'll find evidences of Hezekiah and his reign there today. And we'll be talking some about that as we go through the scriptures today and tomorrow that talk about Hezekiah. He was a contemporary of Isaiah the prophet. This man was a great king, and you can see just by reading chapter 18, which I hope you've already done, that the key to his success in his ministry and his leadership was that it says in verse 7, the Lord was with him. The Lord was with him. And that's the great promise that we have as Christians, that the Lord is with us. He never leaves us. He never forsakes us. And we're told some of the characteristics of Hezekiah, this great man of God. In verse 3, it says he did what was right, as opposed to his father, as opposed to all the kings of Israel. He did what was right in the sight of the Lord, and he brought about a reformation in Judah. All the other kings, you hear about them, they might have done what's right, but they didn't tear down the high places. Well, Hezekiah did. High places is where they would worship their idols. They would try to worship God at the temple and worship their idols at the high places. Hezekiah said no more of that, and he tore down the high places and put an end to the idolatry. And that was a great reformation that came under the leadership of King Hezekiah. It says in verse 5 that he trusted the Lord. And it says there was no one like him who trusted the Lord the way Hezekiah did. And we're going to see that as we go through this section of 2 Kings and look at Hezekiah, his confident trust and his growing trust even in the Lord during this time. And verse 6, he held fast. He held fast to the Lord. That's a lot of what we're talking about on Sunday mornings, whether it's been in Hebrews or now in Ephesians chapter 6. It's standing firm, it's holding fast all the way to the end, it's persevering to the end. That's what you see in Hezekiah. He held fast to the Lord. Now, those are the great characteristics of Hezekiah, and as the chapter goes on, you see that Assyria, who was the power of the time, is making its move on Jerusalem and threatening Jerusalem as well. Hezekiah, he gives them a large amount of money. I think it's like 11 tons of silver and 1 ton of gold that he gives to them. But Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, he's not satisfied with that. And so he sends a couple of his guys to try to scare Hezekiah into doing that. And you're going to see the intimidation factor. But if you come back tomorrow, we're going to see how Hezekiah responds to that and get even more insight into the spiritual maturity, the spiritual strength of this man. And this is the kind of man we need today. We need Hezekiahs today. Men who will lead their families by doing what's right, trusting in the Lord, and holding fast to Him. You want to have success in your family. You want to have success in ministry. You want to have success in your life. You want to know that the Lord is with you in all that you do. Those are the kind of things you need to focus on. And I would encourage you men to do that. And we're going to be having a men's meeting on September 18th where we're going to be talking about a spirit-controlled life. And so, men, I would encourage you to make your plans to be there that evening for that time together. So thanks for zeroing in. We just had this one chapter today that introduces us to this great King Hezekiah. And I trust that you'll come back tomorrow because we'll learn some more things from Hezekiah that will really encourage you and me. So thanks for joining us today. We'll see you tomorrow for more Bible Time.